Hey Mama, happy Wednesday and welcome to the Warrior Mamas community and movement. My name is Sam McCormick. I am the founder of the Warrior Mamas movement and I am super excited to be joining you today. So today I wanted to talk about the secrets to living a long and youthful life. Now, I know most of the people I have talked to, at least in America, think that a long life is living to like 60, because most of us, when we think of living to be old, we think of being old and infirm and decrepit and living in a nursing home and not able to take care of yourself when you get to the point of 80 or 90. And that's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about the secrets to living to be 80, 90, 100 and beyond and still feeling like you're 20 out there doing crazy acrobatic stuff because you can, which to me like blows my mind. But this is really what I wanted to talk about because it's one of my missions, is living a long and healthy life and dying young as old as possible. So with that being said, let me switch over to my slides real quick and then we will get started. All right, so here are my slides, and like I said, today I wanted to talk about the secrets of living a long and youthful life. So this all started for me in terms of thinking about living a long and healthy life was when I discovered this book. It's called The Blue Zone Solution. It's by Dan Buettner. He is a National Geographic Fellow, and he spent many, many years along with his research team researching what he called the blue zones. And now what the blue zones are is a region where a high percentage of people live to be 90 to 100 and beyond, free from disease. So the typical diseases that we have here in the U.S., like heart disease, Alzheimer's, dementia, diabetes, obesity, cancer, these people were not getting these diseases and they were dying young, as old as possible. Quite often, they did not become sick until just a few months before their death. And so he wanted to know what these places had in common. So they studied the entire globe and they came up with 5 different areas that they called the blue zones. And they were these 5 areas here. There's Icaria, Greece, Okinawa, Japan, Ogliastra region in Sardinia, Loma Linda, California. So yes, we do have one here in the U.S. Those are actually the Seventh-day Adventists in Loma Linda. And the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica. And so they studied these 5 different places and they took down a bunch of different notes and they figured out what these places had in common and put them into this book that I read. And these are really the lessons that we can pull from the people who are living in these regions as to how they are living a long and healthy life. And I wanted to share those with you today. So the first lesson from the Blue Zone is to move naturally. Now, the world's longest lived people don't pump iron, run marathons, or join gyms. Instead, what they do is they live in an environment that constantly nudges them into moving. So they grow gardens and they don't have mechanical conveniences for house and yard work. They walk to work, to a friend's house, and to the grocery store. Now, when I was suffering with all of my different health issues and I was severely overweight, one of the problems that I had was that I had taken a corporate job. Now, prior to this, I had always worked on my feet, so I was always moving during the day, but then I took a corporate job and I started to gain weight and have all of these health issues, and I really believe that that was one of the reasons why. And so, if you are working a job where you sit at a desk for 9 or 10 hours a day, I would highly recommend that you invest in different solutions that will help you to move more naturally throughout the day. Things like a standing desk, setting an alarm on your phone every hour to go for walks, various things like that that will help you move naturally. The next lesson we can pull from the Blue Zone is to have a sense of purpose. Now, all of the people in the blue zones had something to live for beyond just work. They had a reason why they woke up in the morning. And I totally understand if you don't like your job and that is not your purpose. I get it, because we all need to pay the bills, right? But if that is the case, taking up a hobby that really lights you up and sets you on fire can go a long way towards making sure you live a long and healthy life. So having that sense of purpose is super important. The next lesson that we can pull from the blue zones is to downshift. Now, especially as moms, we can experience a lot of stress. And believe it or not, even people that are living to be 100 and beyond in the blue zones experience stress. And having chronic stress can lead to inflammation, which is associated with every major age-related disease. But the people who live in the blue zones have different routines to shed that stress. So taking a nice bath with a glass of wine, curling up with a good book, going for a walk, all of these things can help you to downshift and get rid of that stress, which is super important for your long-term health. The next lesson that we can pull from the blue zones is the 80% rule, and it's called Hara Hachi Bu. This is a 2,500-year-old Confucian mantra that is spoken before every single meal on Okinawa, and what this does is it reminds people to stop eating when they are 80% full. Now, this is a huge thing that I adopted when I first started making my transition over to a healthier lifestyle, and it definitely made a difference in terms of my weight loss and also how I felt after eating a meal as well. I'm sure all of you have probably experienced this, probably particularly on Thanksgiving, when you stuff yourself so full that you feel like you're bursting at the seams, and it's an uncomfortable feeling. So using this 80% rule is really going to help you long term, and the 20% gap between not being hungry and feeling full could be the difference between losing weight and gaining it. Which again, like I said, this really helped me to lose weight when I first started on my wellness journey. Also, people in the blue zones eat their smallest meal in the evening, which is backwards from how we do it here in America. So the way that you should be eating and what is healthiest for you and your digestion is to eat your largest meal first thing in the morning. So for breakfast, that should be your largest meal. And then throughout the day, you can eat other meals, whether you eat the standard 3 meals here in America or you eat 4 or 5, which is much better for your digestion. But as you progress through the day, your meals gradually get smaller until your smallest meal is in the evening. And this will make a huge difference in how you feel and also in your gut health and your microbiome as well. The next lesson that we can pull from the blue zones is to eat a plant slant diet. Now, people in the blue zones eat a diet consisting mainly of plants, and beans are really the cornerstone of most of their diets. If they do eat meat, it's eaten on average only 5 times per month maximum, and their portion is about the size of a deck of cards. But typically, when they do eat meat, it is only on a celebratory basis. So if they are having some sort of celebration, they will cook up meat at that point and eat it. But for the most part, they eat mostly plants. They also do not consume dairy for the most part. The next lesson that we can pull from the blue zones is to have the right tribe. Now, the world's longest lived people choose social circles that support healthy behaviors, which is one of the reasons why I created the Warrior Mamas community as a free community for you to find the right tribe and have the support that you need. And it's also why I have the Warrior Mamas in a circle as well. Okinawans, they create moais, which is groups of 5 friends that commit to each other for life. And research has shown that smoking, obesity, happiness, and even loneliness are contagious. So all of your habits, depending on who you're hanging out with, are going to be influenced by those people. So make sure that you are choosing the right people to hang out with because they are going to be influencing your behavior. And closing on this, by contrast, social networks of long-lived people favorably shape their health behaviors. So the next lesson that we can pull from the blue zones is to put your loved ones first. Now, successful centenarians in the blue zones put their family first. They keep aging parents and grandparents nearby or in the home, which also lowers disease and mortality rates of their children. And they commit to a life partner and they invest in their children with time and love, which makes the children more likely to be caretakers when the time comes. Now, the big thing to pull from this lesson is to have loving relationships that really bring out the best in you, because having those connections are really, really good for your long-term health. So make sure that you are making your loved ones a priority in your life. So, in summary of all of these lessons from the blue zones on how we can live a long and youthful life, is that living a healthy life is not just about the quote-unquote perfect diet or really any one single factor. In fact, it is living a completely healthy lifestyle and incorporating healthy habits to live a long and vital life free from disease. So with that being said, I wanted you to come join me. I have put together a free masterclass on how my husband and I changed our lives. We started incorporating these healthy habits. We incorporated a healthy diet, and we lost a cumulative 90 pounds, actually a little bit more than that now, and we completely healed our bodies. And so I wanted to share this with you. If you're interested, it's completely free. You get instant access. You just go to warriormamasmovement.com/free training sign up, and I will put this link in the description for you as well. I would love for you to come join me. Like I said, completely free, instant access. So that wraps it up for today. I hope you learned a little something about living a long and healthy life, and I hope it helped you and inspired you to start incorporating some healthy habits into your own life. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a fabulous day.